to be here.
Hi, Caleb. Hi. I literally just got off the plane like 30 minutes ago. So everything's still in the bag. Where's my bag?
Right there.
Right over here. Wow, you guys are crazy. All the time. No, like literally, I just got off the plane probably about 45 minutes ago, and then I run over there and my bags are late, so my bags are like 30 minutes late. Stand up. And then I grab my bags finally and I run out, and they said I was going to be in like a gray sedan or something, so I run out and I find a gray car, and I'm like, here's my bags, and I jump in. And then halfway here, I realize, wait, I didn't check this driver. I don't even know who I got in with. Then he starts going down these alleyways, and I'm like, maybe I hope this is like the beginning of a novel. You get kidnapped and end up somewhere else. So, but luckily, and then we went way down there, went a few more alleys, and we finally wound up back here. So I'm still kind of like out of sorts, if you don't notice. But yeah. So, I don't know how many of you people follow me online or know what stuff that I do in writing and stuff, so I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about how I came to write Bran Hambric and Farfield Curse, which you should probably get out. I don't have a copy here.
I think you have time.
I'm sure there's a copy here.
Oh,
Thank you very much. How I came to write Bran Hambric and Farfield Curse.
Where's your copies?
And let's see, I'll start at the beginning. When I was 9 years old, I absolutely hated writing. I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want to pick up a pencil. I liked some reading, mostly Chronicles of Narnia and Where the Wild Things Are. So those were the only things I really read. And then my mom told me that I had to start writing 1 page a week in this little black notebook. I actually brought it here. Let's see. This little black notebook here. Some of you probably use this for school or other things. And this is it says Kaleb's Storybook, 1998. And she told me I had to write 1 page a week or else. And I complained, but when my mom says or else, because in my stories, since I had really no ideas and I didn't really want to put much work into it, the starring character was named King Kaleb. I don't know who that was inspired by. But King Kaleb would take a submarine underneath the North Pole. He would meet aliens, and he would blow things up a lot. And as I wrote on this story called Unidentified, I still don't know why I put it that title, I slowly actually got into it because I realized that as I was writing these stories, I could make up whatever I wanted, and I could put myself into these situations that, of course, I couldn't do in real life. All the things I wanted to blow up, I couldn't do it. But in my stories, I could. So I went on, I started writing, and my chapters started getting longer, and I started writing 2 pages a week, and then I was writing 5 pages a week. Then I started spending some of my own time until every day I was spending 2 and 3, maybe 4 hours writing. Then my mom told me that I had to stop writing or else. So that went on for a little while. I would write all these little stories in here. I'd write stories about castles. I'd write stories about knights. I wrote stories about Star Wars rip-off stories, plenty of those. And most of them would have this King Kaleb, Emperor Kaleb, this Kaleb always that appeared in there. Or Bilak, which is Kaleb spelled backwards. And I did that for a while. And then on one night, on March 3rd of 2003, I was 14 years old. I'd been writing for a while then. And I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and I was thinking of a different story that I'd been working on. And all of a sudden, I imagined this boy and this banker sitting on a rooftop waiting for a burglar. It was a very weird image. I don't know why it struck me or where it came from or what inspired it, but I imagined all this stuff happening. And so there were all these questions attached to it, like why are they on the roof? And what's going on? What does this burglar want with this boy that's on the roof? And what's happening in this scene? So I jumped out of bed and I ran over to my writing desk and I started scribbling it out. And as I scribbled it out, I started to answer these questions, and I figured out that the the boy had these strange magic powers that nobody knew about, and I also knew that he lived in this city where magic was illegal. That's why it was kept a secret. I knew that the burglar wasn't really a burglar, it was actually this creature that was coming to kidnap the boy. And I also knew that the boy's name was Bran Hambric. And from that original idea and the questions that kept growing from that was born the story of Bran Hambric. And not just this story, but the next 5 books inside of the series were born from that one original idea. And that idea is actually still inside of the book. It opens as chapter 1, and it's stayed there all 6 years of writing the book. And that's pretty much how Bran Hambric was born. So what I'm going to do, still of sorts dizzy, like where am I right now? I'm going to read the prologue of the book. And the prologue, for people who don't know what a prologue is, it kind of comes before the first chapter, and it gives a bit of background story on what happened before the story begins. It was cold and dead, and so felt Clarence's heart. He dashed through the darkness, never stopping, always watchful for the men, every passing car making him leap back into the shadows of the trees on the abandoned rural highway. His form was hardly more...
No fire. Together, it's there.
He's doing this.
Probably one with a point. Yeah.
What's
wrong with your teeth? It'll be fine.
Did I do it right? Oh, good.
Yes.
I'm supposed to check. Thank you.
I recognized you instantly.
Can I take a picture of this?
No pressure.
And backwards is not officially king.
Backwards, yeah, it's like, nah.
Not quite, but...
No, it's you're right. Whatever. And you are.
Go!
I don't know if they have as much as they did, but I know they moved all the animals. They moved them to Texas.
It was all email.
It was all email. I never sent a single paper query out. I did it all. I would use agentquery.com, and I just found agents that fit with it. And I would send out 20 to 30 a day, all the same formula, kind of changed up a little bit to fit the specific agency. And I do that constantly. And then I would, like whenever, I got a few that fit, like on the first day I had one guy, and eventually after a few months I had like 9 people that were interested going back and forth. And then I emailed it out to Richard Curtis. I didn't know who he was. I was just sending him out by then. I was just sending it out to as many agents as I could. Whoever's going to read it, take it. And then he calls me on the phone. And agents don't ever call you on the phone. And he basically wanted to read it based off of the query. So I sent him the full, and that evening he offered me a contract.
Wow.
And then I go on his website, like looking at it, and it says on the front page of his site, no new authors, no manuscripts, no fantasy, no children's books. And he still took it. He still took it. So, and it was good.
Now, what would be the Corey? What would that?
Bam! Yeah, I just got on. So I still have an arm. You know
Hey, Caleb.
what? That's the shit.
That's nice.
Join up with 355.
Camera's on you. Don't worry, this won't be on YouTube.
Oh!
I hope. It's recording. Hello. I guess I'm daily. You should put this on your. Hey, this,
See you later,
Hey, this is Caleb. We
Leave it.
Like over here. Or we could go in the hotel. Yeah, in the hotel.
I'm trying to figure out where we're stuck. Hold it for 1 second. Yeah. It's just like
Jimmy, now go up to him and give him a hug.
thanks for the ride. You know, it's great to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys in person. Just met first time in person. Seen you on Skype before. One time. Yeah. Videos, at least YouTube videos. Yeah. I should be back here sometime soon. Hopefully I'll go to Michigan next time. You guys are.
Said she's going to do a letter campaign to get you coming in.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good. So. Right.